We're accused of trying to turn kids gay, as if that's even possible. I have a hard enough time getting my kids to turn in their homework.
That was one part of a contentious school board meeting in Hernando County, Florida. Teachers ended up squaring off, and not just teachers, but you also had parents, students, squaring off against right-wing members of the school board, as well as their supporters in some of the large conservative groups like Moms for Liberty, during a no-confidence vote in the superintendent. So now the teachers and a lot of the students turned out to support the superintendent. This meeting was 8.5 hours long. I kid you not. These school board meetings can run long. I think this one lasted until like 2 a.m. So there were over 100 speakers, which again included students, parents, teachers, activists from the community, and even Proud Boys. Now, many of the people, at least the ones that I support, many of the speakers actually were denouncing right-wing propaganda from some of the groups that did have representatives there, like Moms for Liberty, who were claiming that teachers are indoctrinating students to be gay with the
woke.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what they were saying. Woke, indoctrination, grooming. It's all ridiculous. And I'm going to give you the response from some of the different educators that were in this. I couldn't, get them all. But here's a nice little supercut of teachers that were pushing back.
We know that there are plenty of people, many sitting in here in this room right now, that hold hate in their heart for the LGBTQ community. Why would a teacher want a student to be a victim of hate?
I love my school, and I love the career of education. However, effective a couple weeks ago, I have resigned from my position. I'm leaving because I feel the board is more interested in removing pride flags and banning literature than they are in protecting us educators. I'm leaving because I don't feel that I can adequately provide a safe environment for my students anymore. I'm leaving because I refuse to work for an organization that sees supporting kids for who they are as indoctrination. I'm leaving because I refuse to teach fabricated history that prioritizes a nationalistic narrative before an accurate one. The attempts to sanitize this profession to fit a political bias is what is causing my departure.
As a public educator, my students and families should never know my political views because it is not my job to groom them. The fact that someone has accused teachers of grooming children is appalling and makes me want to throw up.
Seeing a gay pride flag in a classroom does not teach your child to be gay. I am a U.S. history teacher, and I am proud to be an American. As an American and an educator, I have the right and the responsibility to acknowledge the truths of our history. All of them.
Teachers do not indoctrinate students with our beliefs. I'm putting this on the record. We do not indoctrinate students. Florida is 47th in literacy in the US, with only 80% of our population being considered literate. Teachers do not care if your child is associated with one political party or another. Education is bipartisan. We are not indoctrinating students in any way. Anyone who says otherwise, unfortunately, is uninformed and does not have a direct connection to the public school system. If we can oppose any beliefs on our students, it would be to be kind and respectful to everyone, to put their phones away, please, and to turn in their work on time, please. Nothing else, that would be it. Again, anyone who says otherwise is not directly involved with the school system.
And let me add, listening to right-wing propaganda that's been debunked over and over again. Anybody remember the, cat litter in the classrooms for the students who had identified as cats? That's not real, never happened. Now, that said, there is a reason for cat litter in the classrooms. And by the way, I don't have a video for it, but there were a lot of teachers in watching this, not just teachers, but parents as well, that noted that in Florida, which Governor Ron DeSantis just signed a bill to deregulate guns even further, guns are a big problem. And that is one reason why cat litter is in some classrooms, to clean up the blood if there's a mass shooter. And by the way, it's not just that, it's also used along with sawdust and other things to clean up things like vomit. But anyway, but that's one of the horrifying reasons that you would have cat litter in the classrooms that right-wingers don't seem to mind. They don't really seem to care about. But if it has anything to do with the possibility of trans people, well, then, now that's a problem. Except, again, that it's not real. There's nobody that's using, no child that's using a litter box as a bathroom in the classroom because they identify as a cat. That's ridiculous. But anyway, I love all the teachers that are pushing back. And again, there's hours and hours of footage that, unfortunately, I don't have time to show you. But that's just some of the highlights here. Now, according to the Times, as I mentioned before, you had Proud Boys that were there. And of course, they were saying things like, oh, woke indoctrination and all that stuff. You already know the arguments there. Moms for Liberty had a spokesperson there as well. Again, repeating the same bigoted, ridiculous talking points. But again, I always show the ghouls, those terrible people who are saying terrible things. And so I'm not going to really focus on them. I'm more focused on, as I said, the teachers that are pushing back, as well as, again, students that are pushing back. And so, that said, the students and the teachers, the majority of them that spoke, were, again, against the bigotry. And were out there to dispel all of the right-wing nonsense. So, now that's important, right? Especially given how young people, as I said, are very important here in this equation, because right-wingers are fearing the next generation. That's why they want to restrict the things that they learn, restrict the knowledge, ban the books, get rid of all these things, that might open up their minds. Look, Gen Z is already pretty based, and very accepting. And so they're going to have a problem with that. That's not good politically for right-wingers, especially in this county. Again, if you have a large number of people, who are going to be of voting age very soon, that are already speaking out against Ron DeSantis and his terrible policies, his bigoted policies, that's going to change the makeup of a lot of things, especially the local government. Now, right now, Hernando County is overwhelmingly conservative. It is not a liberal bastion. You wouldn't know it when listening to those people, right? They haven't backed a Democrat for president in over 2 decades. And Ron DeSantis, by the way, carried the county for by over 40 points. So, wow. Yeah. Now, what kicked this entire thing off, though? Before I get to that, just one last point about young people, right? As I said, they're coming of age. They're not a fan of Ron DeSantis and his attacks on the LGBTQ community, and again, banning books and getting rid of those. It's not a good long-term strategy. As I said before, what started this entire meeting, there was a lot of drama that's going on, okay? One teacher, Jenna Barbie, I've covered her before, she had showed a Disney movie that was related to the content that she was teaching. And in this Disney movie, happened to have a gay character. Conservatives flipped out over the gay character, when again, it was just a person that a character that happened to be in the movie and also gay, but wasn't a major, that was not a major plot point of the movie. It wasn't about being gay or discovering being gay or anything like that. No, it's just one component. That's it. And a small one at that. It doesn't matter. Drove people nuts. They complained about the woke,
Woke.
And the teacher actually ended up having to, she ended up resigning her position. And that's, of course, devastating. This district is already facing a massive teacher shortage. And that's going to get worse. They're losing more and more teachers because of a couple of extremists on their board. About 50 teachers are reportedly planning to resign due to the school's hostile environment. And you heard, again, from a few of them. So I mentioned the two extremists, right? One of them is Shannon Rodriguez. She's a Hernando School board member who was endorsed by Moms for Liberty. And she was the one who reported Barbie for showing the Disney film. Both Rodriguez and another board member, Mark Johnson, Johnson's campaign was to get rid of critical race theory, which isn't even taught in K through 12 education. He campaigned on this. Oh, and this entire meeting was also about trying to remove Superintendent John Stratton, whom they have accused of supporting indoctrination. But again, a lot of people spoke out in favor of keeping John Stratton, and the board ended up, keeping Stratton. He survived the vote of no confidence. One board member, Susan Duvall, said, "You could never find a better superintendent." So right-wingers did not have their day. And that's good. So now look, this is one example of the fights that are going on in school boards all across the country right now. It's Pride Month, and we've not seen the attacks on LGBTQ people reach such a height in years and years. So, and of course, it continues to get worse and worse. Trans, gay people, bisexuals, everyone is being targeted right now, along with cis women as well, and stripping of their bodily autonomy, and trans men as well. And so, look, this is happening all across the country. The far right is attacking both education, and I think that's an important component of this, to try to eliminate public education by accusing everyone involved in it of being groomers and then trying to destroy it from the inside out. That's your famous, infiltration tactic. And then, of course, you also have them attacking LGBTQI plus people. And maybe they're using that as a vehicle to dismantle public education, given how, they're pretty good planners when it comes to, for example, abortion, getting rid of Roe. That was a decades-long process. And they chipped away at it. And maybe this, since it's not a really good, vehicle for getting votes, since it's so incredibly unpopular, passing all these bills to target trans people, well, it could be used as a vehicle to try to dismantle public education. I mean, that is incredibly scary. Now, the thing is, though, getting back to it, to the argument here, the fact that gay and trans people exist is not indoctrination. It's not. It's just reality. You don't go. You don't turn people gay by having them read a book. Okay. The teachers, by the way, they're not teaching about that. They're not teaching about gender ideology. It's not part of any particular curriculums. It's literally just the acknowledging the existence of gay and trans people and having respect for the existence of another human being, and showing that you support them by putting up a flag. That's really it. That's all it is. The right wing does not want to respect other human beings. They don't want teachers to teach facts and history. And at the end of the day, they want to eliminate LGBTQIA plus people from existence. Michael Knowles literally just came out and said it. They're saying it openly now. It's Nazi stuff. And of course, in Florida, that's been having a huge effect because Ron DeSantis has a lot of power. A lot of Republicans in the government are supporting his bills, passing them through, and it's gotten to the point where a lot of LGBTQIA plus people who have the means, are leaving the state. They're trying to flee the state. And of course, not everyone can do that because that takes money. Some people do not have the means to be able to uproot and relocate. And so they're stuck in this absolute dystopian hell. And the ones who are still there, they're afraid. A lot of them are afraid to speak up. One non-LGBTQ plus student told LGBTQ Nation that Terrified queer students are learning to, quote, shut up and keep their head low as a result of what's going on here in Florida. So that said, I have one more video. I have a video of a student here, one of many, again, who did speak up on this, and she was absolutely unafraid. Take a look.
If you haven't noticed, times have changed. People are starting to finally accept the LGBTQ plus community, BLM movements, and other movements that stand for inclusiveness. And I know since many of us are so patriotic, let me restate the Pledge of Allegiance for everyone. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Justice for all is what I hear when the pledge is said on the school announcement every morning. I think to myself, what justice? How is teachers' jobs getting threatened by a pride flag justice? How are students fearing to be themselves justice? How is Black Lives Matter flag not justice? If this isn't justice, please tell me what is, because obviously we're reading from different dictionaries. If you think what is happening in our county and all over the state is what America is supposed to stand for. Indoctrination is another word that we've been hearing a lot. And the definition of indoctrination is the process of teaching a person or group to accept the beliefs. So everyone being treated equally is now just a belief and not a basic human right. People all over this district and state are using this word and not knowing the fear and frustration that it is causing among students and staff. At the end of this meeting today, I hope you all live with an enlightened mind of what the true definition of justice and indoctrination is and what needs to be done from the perspective of the students and teachers who should have the biggest say, as it's our reality every single day. We're tired of the talking and conversing. We need action. Myself and my peers will not stop until something is done. Thank you for your time, and I hope something is taken from this speech.